I haven't got much chest hair, so
I'm clicking live straight away just so in case it turns off.
I've got no more chest hair than I had when I was about 9, youngie. So I actually think though a lack of facial and bodily hair is a blessing. I shave about once a week. It's like, it's easy. I have to remind myself how to. I have to learn how to shave every time. Now that I'm getting older, I have to learn how to shave every time I shave.
All I've got is this image of you with loads of toilet paper on your face because you've used a lady shave.
I do actually nick. It's the other way round to normal. I nick Claire's razors because I don't need them very often, so I just buy them. So, yeah.
What a revelation to start this podcast with. That Bruce uses his lady shave. That's
no, it's not a lady shave. I did want the title tonight to be something about the fact that we've won back-to-back games. So can we have sort of a subtitle then?
Yeah. No. Bruce shaving Bruce's back with a lady shave. That'll do. It's got
and then can we have 2 W's underneath it?
Shaving Bruce's legs, like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. old Remington
privates.
Shaving Ryan's privates. Yeah.
Old
Just can we nail this early on then? For the vast majority of people that are listening, Bruce has come on the podcast wearing and this is just so something could happen, a dressing gown. That's all he's got.
And I've got to say as well, he came on and
a dressing gown.
I've got that as well.
Same one. You share it.
Yeah.
It's
alternate weekends.
It's like the kids.
Bruce, are you in a dressing gown because yesterday was heavy?
It took its toll. I'll be honest. It was a good day. It was a mighty fine day.
Doesn't every cover it? I've just seen
football
pictures of him lying down all over the bloody place. That's all I see when Bruce goes to an away game. Pictures of him falling over.
No, well, I'm not sure that youth's picture of me asleep in bed. I mean, man sleeps in bed. That's not exactly a revelation.
Have you got an inner ear problem? Is it like an inner ear problem? You fall over all the time. Is it an infection thing? Or?
No, Gary pushed me into the laundry thing in the hotel. I was standing in front of it and he thought it would be funny. And I did laugh. It was funny. But yeah, that was after the game. That was after the game when we went back to check into the hotel. And then,
here's the question for everyone.
Sorry, go on.
Here's the question for our lovely listeners. It's, do you actually think Bruce laughed the second he was pushed into a laundry bin? Or do you think he had at least that split second of anger of fucking...
No, I genuinely thought that it was quite funny. I did sort of go down in stages though. I sort of got wedged in a little bit and then my weight sort of carried me down to the bottom of it. It was quite funny. And it was that stage where we were all a bit giddy. We were all a little bit, we'd had a few drinks before the game. Town had nicked a last minute winner and anything that could have happened would have been funny. We were just in very good spirits, and why not?
I'm genuinely starting to worry about you, Bruce. To be fair,
in what way?
In every way. There is no way I'm not worried about you.
What's he done? Why is there a worry? Like he needs a nana line around his neck. Just to make sure that if he falls over, there's someone from Meals and Wheels to help pick him up again.
But this is why, it was good. It was a good day. It was a great day. Carlisle's a great place. You have to. I'm not taking the piss. You'll have to make the effort and get yourselves. I know it's a long trip for you boys, but Christine Greenslad did a 10-hour round trip from Falmouth, didn't he? So yes, it's a marvelous. Have you been, Youngie?
Never been to Carlisle. No, never been. It's
a cracking away day. It's a nice journey. Even it's a 3-hour journey. You know how the London journey sort of feels like a ball ache. It's not like that. We went up the A1 and across the A66, and it was really pretty. And it's a nice city. It's a proper northern city, and everything's in the centre. Sorry, mate, you were saying I interrupted. You've never been.
I was going to say, what was it like for a night out, Bruce, in Carlisle? Good night out, everywhere central.
Lively, mate. We were staying. Neil Butts was in the county hotel. It was one of those places that you probably. It was all right, actually. I mean, we met a Grimsby fan in Wetherspoons this morning, and he said that he thought it was a bit of a shithole, but it was probably one of the better places I've stayed with the lads following town. It was all right. The water wasn't brown and the bed sheets were clean when we got there.
My favourite tweet of the year already is, "This is League Two. Unless you're Harrogate, it's all shithole."
Yeah. But yeah, it was good, mate. When we was in the first pub, we were chatting to the town. I don't know what you call them these days. The football liaison, whatever. The police came and had a chat with us, and he had a couple of his colleagues from Carlisle, and they said that they get a lot of day trippers from Glasgow on the pop. It's obviously fairly short hop apparently. I know I don't know how far it is, but yeah, they come down stag and hen do's and overnights, and everything was very central, mate. It's just a good. It reminded me of years ago when I was surprised by Camberley. All the pubs were on one street when we went to watch Town at Aldershot, and it was a bit like the old days where you got a strip. It was good.
When did Camberley get thrown into this?
Camberley was. I was Camberley.
A bit too close to home. This is, Bruce.
Camberley stunned me when we went to the. Well, it stunned Adam Proudlock as well. But when we went to that relegation 6-pointer, the famous penalty over that stand at Aldershot. I've been going on that long. The theme stopped on it. It was a great. Camberley was a real surprise. We only went there because it was a cheap travel lodge, but it was a good night out.
You outlasted the summer wine. I don't think anybody's ever done that before.
That was beautiful. I loved how that ended. So I'm glad you had a good time, and you all had a nice little away day. Looked pretty good. 500 odd going on this lovely little trip on a tin bath over to Carlisle.
It's good numbers, wasn't it? We said to the police before the game. We said how many. We said in the car we thought 300 to 400. Probably middle 300s, and yeah, 450 is a decent effort, isn't it? Because we've started the season well, but it's a 3-hour plus journey. It took us just over, I think, about 3.25 hours. But yeah, good effort. But town fans travelling well, it doesn't surprise anybody, does it? Really?
I don't know. It's a couple of days till payday. I'm impressed with all of them.
My company paid me early. I got paid early because the lady that does our accounts, she does it manually, and she doesn't like doing it on the last day in case it goes wrong. Because we once had a month where like everyone's mortgages and everything go out on the 1st, and it's like and we hadn't been paid, and it was like and we're not I'm not the sort that has that sort of money just sitting at the end of the month, and so she always does it a little bit early now. So we got paid on Friday, so I've probably gone into it, spent a weekend, spending money that's actually next month's money. So come back to me at the end of October, mate, and see how I am.
I'm so sorry for that.
I was a bit gutted we was away because I was back in Grimsby this weekend and there was no football. Bad timing, that, wasn't it?
I was at Swashy, mate. You had a good night?
Yeah, it was good. We weren't there long because my dad wanted to, else we had to go back. But we was in there for a couple of hours. They've took our stickers down, Bruce, that we put up there, mate.
I didn't put any stickers up. I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember you putting that one up in the barge, Bruce.
No, that was Dan Madsen. Nothing to do with me, officer. Yeah, we did plaster a few around that night, didn't we? But yeah, we'll have to not do that again next time you're up.
That'd be nice to do, actually. Well, speaking of going up, are you not coming down instead, Bruce? It's a bit of a heavy, Thank you, everybody who nominated us for a Football Content Award. 100 quid is a bit steep for a night out, but then again, in London, it probably isn't. Are you not coming on the fence?
I'm not sure, mate. I'm a little bit. It's like I said to you the other day in the WhatsApp. Is it 100 quid or is it 125? Because I thought the cheapest tickets were 250, weren't they normally without discount?
Oh, maybe it is then. Yeah,
I think it's 125. The train was 40 quid. Mike's kindly offered to put me and Hannah up in separate accommodation with him. and so which is very generous and very kind. But by the time you've bought drinks and stuff, it's going to be £250, isn't it? It's not a cheap jaunt.
He was all for it.
Not when I can be frittering my money in Carlisle. Sorry, Mike.
He was all for it. Like he was like all full on trying to get everybody else to go until the only offer of accommodation was me. And he's like, "Oh, you know what, lads? I'm not sure."
You're more than welcome to stay at mine, Bruce. If you want.
You're coming now.
You're a bit further out of London, though, mate, aren't you? It's the next morning. It's a bit more tricky getting back to King's Cross, isn't it? I know it's not hard. It's not, but yeah.
It felt bloody hard this time last week when Morton had flooded.
I've not ruled it out yet. When do you need to know by it, or does it? How does it work? Do we have to book a table?
Yeah.
Or do we book part of the
say
table?
Last Thursday.
Yeah, let's wait till the end.
But I bet he hasn't got everybody's money in though.
No, I've got no one's money.
Exactly.
This is the perfect opportunity. Let's get a crowdfunder on the go. Get Bruce to London. This is an appeal from everybody here at DN35. Just £1 a month can get Bruce to London on a big.
No, I don't want charity, young.
Please.
No, I don't want. No.
How about instead,
Bruce can sell you one? Just buy a knockoff laptop or something from him.
How about in return, instead, what you do is we set up an OnlyFans for you, and you in your little sexy town
dressing gown,
some feet pics. Look at this. This is worth the content. Look at that.
Oh, bloody hell. My legs are coming out. And
everything
on
underneath.
God.
We're definitely going to win
if
you're getting your
Bruce's player cards right here.
For your consideration.
For your consideration, Mr. Bruce. I've lost me bloody thing. Yeah. Where's it gone?
Under the Cosh can't compete with that, can they?
No, exactly. I'll tell you something. They'll never be able to show it. If they do this thing when they show like a footage of the podcast, they'll never be able to use any of ours because it's all just full of BBC theme tunes.
I would love it if that is the clip they use.
I even put this one on now when we can talk about when we're talking about the injury list. We've now got this as well. Bruce, do you want to go through a list of everyone that's injured while the casualty theme tune's playing in the background?
Mike's our injury specialist. Claims by Mike.
Go on, Mike. List out all the players that are injured.
So you've got Eastwood, Wright, Thompson, Luca, Burnham, Abikwu, Carson. That's about 8, isn't it?
You got to fill a little bit. It's got about another.
Is that including the other lone? Is that the other lone lad in there that's injured?
Yeah, okay. Luca. Well, interestingly, he did say Abikwu and Luca should be back next week, sort of time, so it might reduce. But we are shit out of luck, aren't we? That's 3 this week that all look pretty long-term injuries.
Yeah, and they're all different injuries as well. I know we talked about the hamstrings and stuff, but the freak injuries. I still haven't quite figured out what happened to poor old Eastwood yesterday. It was
and
he
Davis
got caught up in the net or something, didn't he? Yeah, they are. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know what's happening. But who needs fit players when you've got 17-year-old kids that you can bring on in goal? I mean, what a night! We say we had a good night last night. I mean, he must have been absolutely buzzing.
Shall we do the theme tune?
Was that not a replacement? I thought that was an alternative theme tune tonight.
Alex does this occasionally. In the 10-minute talk shit stuff, he talks about most of the stuff we're going to talk about and then starts, then we talk about it again. But at least we've had a practice.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy.
Here, they got a penalty here. They've been fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really, really good goal. You can't measure strength like that.
Us singing and dancing at Brighton, we had only just come off of our last back-to-back win, and now we have come full circle and we're here. Welcome to the DN35 podcast. Yes, we will talk about it all over again. Mike is going to do the injury list in a far better and more succinct way to the casualty theme tune. Bruce is here lounging around on his chaise longue, being fed what should we say, peeled grapes into his mouth while he's at Champney in his Grimsby Town dressing gown. And Youngie is slightly annoying me by wearing the hoodie that I've just put coat down that I can't wear now. So I've gone with the cones and bones one instead, which is starting to look a bit past its best. Hello, everybody. The Mariners run out 3-2 winners against Carlisle. Back-to-back victory for the first time since March 2023. And the most handsome people in League Two are here to talk to you about it. So thank you for saying hello, everyone. Bruce was there, but I'm slightly worried that you don't remember any of it. How was the game? Shall we do the game properly?
It was a very my sort of first thoughts in the first half were it was just a very open game. Neither team looked particularly confident defensively. And that made for an entertaining game. I thought it was quite open. I've seen people say, and you'll probably tell me because I went in the bar a little bit before half time. But the second half, I thought I can understand their disappointment, but I didn't think they dominated the first half as much as it said that they did. I mean, our equal. We gave away. I've seen the sort of people moaning about the people moaning on social media at half time, and when the Artel out brigade were out again and we're crap and we can't do this and we can't do that. But we've talked no end of time, don't we, about people, things are so reactionary and there's people are making sort of calls all the time, whereas normally when you spoke to somebody about the game afterwards in the past, it would have been at the end of the game if you weren't there. You would have spoken and you would know that we'd won 3-2 and you would never, but things are just put out there as an instant sort of thing now, aren't they? So I saw people moaning about that. So I'm guessing that there was some negativity in the first half, and I felt it. The free header from a set piece again, but Barrington, I thought his goal was beautiful. I mean, I assumed it was one of the central midfielders that had picked the ball up where Hume picked it up. It was Hume, wasn't it? Denver Hume got the first assist, didn't he?
It was, darling.
Yes. I assumed it was one of the midfielders, the way he spun away from their player and raced into midfield. And then we got a player on his bike. It was like Michael Reddy-esque.
True.
We had a player that was on the march through the middle, and it was a brilliantly timed pass. And Donovan Wilson, I think somebody said deliberately got out of the way of it. He looked like he was going to touch it. And
he did, yeah.
The camera angle's really good, but it was a great through ball. And whether it was easier, whether it wasn't intercepted because they thought it was going to go to Wilson, so that was where their focus was. But great goal, and he tucked it away really nicely. And then obviously we had the keeper injury, but yeah, I just thought it was an entertaining game. And then at the end, you're 2-1 down. You come back to 2-2. What was it? 81 minutes, wasn't it? I think. And you're happy with 2-2. And then at the end, you're absolutely buzzing at you. And that's why you go to football. That's why you travel up and down the country. That's why you put up with the shit that you put up with. The 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 as it is these days, journeys home where you've lost at an away game. It's for days like that, when you can't replicate that. And that's not, you don't get that. You don't get that watching it on telly. Yes, you're happy, but the buzz, the stand is just absolutely gone up at the end. My shins are all battered and bruised from seats, and there were people.
We don't want to talk about that.
there were people across rows, and it was just carnage at the end, and it was marvellous carnage.
Brunton Park looks like a ground that I would quite happily have. You know, if they said this is now Blundell Park, big old terrace behind the goal, half decent seated bit, and then there's like a paddock bit in there that now is where the TV gantry is. Is it got a decent atmosphere, Bruce, or was it not really just a bit too open for that?
They sounded like the loudest singing that I heard from them, which is sometimes a bit deceptive, because at Blundell Park, where we sit at the Osman end of the lower, you can't hear the pontoon some of the time, and then when you watch a camera that's at the other end of the ground, you can the pontoon are singing, and you genuinely can't hear that all the time so their seats next to us, a little bit like when we used to go to Lincoln. You know, we had half a stand, a bit like they used to give us at Lincoln, and we used to get full stand there. We didn't. It was that empty, but yeah, it was.
We'll just sit in the corner, lads.
But I mean, what pisses me off a little bit is that after we were just, there's been quite a lot of things that have happened in our club's relatively recent history that haven't helped us. I mean, it doesn't help that under the previous regime, we chose the worst 20 years where football evolved to be at utter dog shit, and be at the club's lowest ever, level, and we missed out on that boat. But the all-seater thing, it was. We were in the second tier when we had to move, in '95 when we became all seater, and it changed Blundell Park. It took the corners out, the atmospheres. I don't think ever been the same, barring 1 or 2, 3 games perhaps. But yet clubs, Fulham went to the Premier League with standing. They went all the way to, yes, they had to change it when they got to the Premier League, but the rules have got relaxed. Carlisle have got a brilliant, massive terrace behind one of the goals, and it's a different game watching it in standing up, and I would still stand up if I could. So yeah, it's a good ground. But
all the evidence suggests that you can't.
This is a good point, well put. But the other side of the ground's dead quirky. I don't know which side the camera is. The camera was facing the town fans, wasn't it? So you were looking at the new stand. Well, if you ever get a chance to look at the other stand, because it's like got terracing along the bottom, and then it's
like
got
Bristol Road, isn't it?
Yeah, then it's got a seating behind, and then it's got 2 like sort of birds' nests at either top far end corners of little bits. It's sort of all been added to, and it just looks a lot nicer than a bowl. But then behind the goal, next to where we were, that's just an embarrassing little. It looks like Wilton Road Industrial Estate. There's storage units, and there's bloody little. It's just like it's a 3-sided ground really, because they don't use that. But yeah, it's a nice ground. Go on.
Because that stand where you were sat, it doesn't match up with the pitch, does it? They wanted to move the pitch back a little bit towards that side. So where you were sat, we kind of overhung the pitch. It wasn't in line.
Where I was stood on that picture, that I don't know if you've seen what Christine Green or somebody put a photo of me, or somebody put a photo of me.
Put a photo of you, yeah, of course.
I think someone commented that, and I was stood on my own, just taking it all in, and. Like you say,
no one wanted to be near him. Come on, we can't let this pass.
I must have been 15 yards past the touchline. It was like you say, the stand goes well past the edge of the pitch, or the end of the pitch, should I say? So yeah, it was it was a good day, marvellous day, and nice city, good away day, and we got 3 points, and we went back to back.
Still sounds like some weird fetish. No longer we don't do it. Yeah, it was good. Youngie, who stood out for you?
Denver Hume, by far his best performance, I think, in a town shirt yesterday. I don't know whether or not it was playing wing back, perhaps, that kind of did it and freed him up a little bit and allowed him to get forward. I mean, we've already talked about how good that pass was for the first goal. It was an absolute defence splitting ball, wasn't it? Superb. Probably the best assist I've seen in it from a town player in a long, long time. I thought Danny Rose as well. He just hustles so much, doesn't he? He works off the last defender. He just is a pain in the backside for him all day long. He's such a great player to have when in games like this where you're back to the walls a little bit and you need someone just to be a bit of a shit house. And what a shit house he is. A beautiful shit house with lovely hair. But I think for me, the thing that stood out, I think if you look at the tactical battle, Artel won the tactical battle yesterday between him and Williamson. Especially in the second half, the substitutions were timed to absolute perfection. I've said on here previously that he hasn't made subs early enough for me during games sometimes, hence why I think we've looked tired after maybe 70, 80 minutes. But he's paced his substitutions well. I think taking Warren off at half time was the right thing to do. Cass was brilliant second half. Reminded me of Carl Magnay. Gave me Carl Magnay vibes, where he doesn't look like a natural right back going forward, but actually he did it to great effect yesterday and caused a bit of mayhem. But yeah, got his substitution spot on, and the timing of the Svan Thornton substitution when 10 minutes to go, they're flagging a little bit. They hadn't made a change at that point as well. It's the 82nd minute until Carlisle made any substitutions yesterday. Took advantage of it, and literally within 2 minutes, he's causing mayhem. Wins the corner. We get the equaliser. So I think out of Artel and Williamson, Artel won the tactical battle yesterday. And I tell you what, I know we all spoke about Mike Williamson and how much we would have liked him here last season. But my God, what a dull post-match interview that man delivers. My word, he makes hers sound entertaining.
Did he? Was Carl Magnay there yesterday? Because he's one of their coaches, or has that all been changed around in the recent upending? Bruce, did you see Carl Magnay there?
He wasn't in the pub with us.
Oh, that's a shame. But no,
I
he
didn't,
was.
No, I didn't see him. I didn't. No, I was the other side of the pitch, mate. I didn't see him.
Here he goes with his. I need to get some boudoir music for when his robes uncinches. What's going to ask about it? Yeah, no, it was Mike Williamson was a bit of a. I don't know if you came across as moody about it, but apparently we had 0.03% XG when you score 3 goals out, and one was a 1-on-1. I think it's pretty good, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I thought we'd won. I must have forgot to factor in the XG, handicap. So I think we didn't win in the end, according to Mike Williamson. I agree with what the other chap said. It's a great win. I don't think we particularly played some of the best football we've played, but we were the better side. And it's nice to get it off our back, get those 2 wins, get 2 wins on the bounce, and get an away win. Not so much. I don't think the team needed it. It's obviously going to be a boost for them, but I think it just quiets a few things down, that we were winning and we were good, and then we'd lose next week and then we were shit. So it quiets a bit of that down. One thing I noticed, I know there's been a lot of talk about our defending at set piece, hasn't there? We've conceded a few goals from there. And I wasn't surprised to see Warren taken off at half time, because that is the second corner that's gone to the front post and he's completely missed it. So I know we talk about our lack of defending at set pieces. I do wonder, though, where you draw the line between, is it a coaching problem? Is it we're not working on it enough? Or players are simply not heading the ball, which I'm not too sure what you can do about that. If somebody's just not heading the ball, what can you do about that? But yeah, good win. Good to score 2 goals from set pieces ourselves as well. There was a few moans about that at half time, and that went away as well. So especially on the back of coming up to having 2 really tough games now, away at Gillingham on Tuesday and then Doncaster. Quite nice. We've had a good start to the season. Where the manner of yesterday was a little bit backs to the wall, in the sense of we've got so many injuries, we've got so many players out, yet we still ground out and got the win. And even in the game when we had...
Sorry, it reminds me of when we played Palace, and we had no fit centre backs.
Yeah.
And we put in a hell of a performance there. I think didn't Artel say that we have 18 players fit?
Yeah, well, that's 17 now, isn't it?
Yeah, 17. Yeah.
I think what the win yesterday does as well. I said it this morning. I think I've maybe even said it on social media, that we would have all. I don't think there's any of us that would not have snapped your hand off for drawing at Gillingham and drawing at Carlisle. So Tuesday now, with our patched up squad, feels to me like a free hit, because we've taken 3 points from 2 away games that we would have been happy with 2 from. And I just think that I probably don't know. I mean, the players have shown brilliant resilience, and I hope they come up with the goods. But Tuesday night, with our makeshift squad with, you would imagine, a lone keeper in that doesn't know his teammates. But maybe they're developing a mentality. Maybe we've talked about the soft underbelly and that sort of thing. But with everything against them, with a 17-year-old kid in goal yesterday, they've dug in and they've come from behind twice to win. It shows a lot of character, and the character's been questioned at times, and it would have been easy for them to, buckle yesterday and lose 3 or 4, but they didn't, and they kept at it. And I thought, if I was a Carlisle fan, though, as good as we were second half, I thought they were awful. I just thought that they offered I can barely remember the ball being in our penalty area with a kid in goal that's making his debut, and they just didn't test him at all. All I can remember him mainly doing was coming for centre halves, playing it back to him, and he kicked it with some success, and a couple that he won't be as happy with, but who cares? We got the 3 points, and like I say, I feel like the pressure's off Tuesday, but absolute fair play to anybody that's anybody that travelled, and we'll hand the baton over to you boys for Tuesday night now, and let the London boys come out in force, and the hardcore that we've got up here, there'll still be another couple of hundred. And
Gillingham's so far away. Yes, Youngie, sorry.
So I was just going to make a point, and actually, kind of Bruce kind of elaborated a little bit. If I was a Carlisle fan as well, I would be so annoyed that we didn't even really test the 17-year-old keeper who barely looked just over 5'10". But what I will say is that all the defenders after the injury deserve massive credit for helping to protect him, really, because they did. Whether that would maybe be Doug Farm's experience or McJanet, whoever it would be, they defended really resolutely in the second half, especially, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. Defending set pieces is clearly the issue we've got, but generally our defending is far better than it was last season. It's the set pieces where we fall down. It's just whether or not that's a lack of concentration, people are not communicating with each other properly, I don't know. But the general defending, since McJanet's come in, Rodgers does look a lot better than he did last year. In my opinion, anyway, has been better. I know the goals conceded doesn't really reflect that, but they did an absolute sterling job of protecting a young goalkeeper who would have never in his wildest dreams expected to be playing any football yesterday. And what a day for the lad! He'll be so popular at the assembly tomorrow at school at Tollbar.
He's 7, as someone said, he is 17 and tried to ruin the joke, but it was amazing and massive props to him, because 17 years old coming on, in front of the away fans who have just, they've literally just scored, so they're going to be, they're going to feel like they're right behind you. And he made there was some nice little easy ones that he would have been grateful to receive from Carlisle, but I've conceded goals like that before, and I'm not 17, so it's a great for him, massive moment, and all props to Seb for being so resolute, and he's got his first win under his belt as well as goalkeeper, and he couldn't have done anything for the second either, so he can come away feeling job well done.
I would say as well, Youngie's right. That was the point I was going to make about, he didn't have a lot to do because of the defence, and the entire team really was so good in protecting him. What I would say as well is he's a young keeper that's inexperienced and, probably bricking it like we all would be. I don't think they overused him, and they didn't go back to him unless they had to. Sometimes when we're pinging the ball about with our experienced keeper, they get a lot of possession. And I think they were clever enough to not give him the ball back under too much pressure as much as they would. So they adapted in game to do that, which is another sort of facet to that.
You've already mentioned it, but I thought Sven Thorsen, when he came on, I love watching him running with the ball. I've never seen a player, I don't think, at Town where the ball's so close to his feet, where it's just under. You can see that he's played on surfaces that don't bobble, and that don't, when he's used to playing on the Astro, because it's just the ball is just like it's stuck to his feet, and he's dribbling. He's brilliant, and I think there's more to come from him. I think he could be a really good signer. I don't think we've still got him up to speed. I still don't think he's fully fit and sort of up to the pace of the game, and maybe the playing on the grass and stuff with studs that are sticking in the turf rather than running on a smooth surface. But yeah, I thought as you both said, I thought the substitutions were good, and we certainly looked like we'd got a bit more of a zip about us after they brought them on.
I thought you were going to say, Bruce, that your expert analysis was that come February, when the pitches are shit, Van Thorson's going to fall off a cliff because he can't get it around Rochdale's pitch.
He's having a mid-season break.
Yeah, I would do as well.
It'd be like, where's Jason gone? What do you mean he's gone to fucking Dubai? What? Does he realise the season's gone? We've got another 4 months of the season yet.
Do you think what will happen now is when we go to a club, we'll actually pay for the pitch to be laid on just his wing, like, that side of the box in that half, and then the other side, like how Colchester strip their pitch down because they can't look after a pitch because they're not a professional football club in the Football League.
Is that what's happening at Wimbledon then? They're preparing the pitch ready for us.
Oh, do you want to even talk about that? Because that is incredible. Wimbledon, my heart goes out to you. I was in London on Monday, and I was trying to get from Surrey into London, and all the trains were cancelled, that sort of way. The rain was biblical. It looks like what's happened is the river next to it, there's a pipe under the ground that sort of helps from the streets nearby. And the pressure in that was so great, it exploded up under the pitch and completely ruined it. But I think they've got a fair bit of cash to hand. And someone was going, it's great that we're crowdfunding this money, but surely Wimbledon's insurance will cover this. So have they just made 100 grand off everybody as a result?
But I did see somebody say though, isn't it built on the old dog track or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And apparently that used to flood. And you do sometimes wonder, don't you, when people are doing these sort of things, people that have paid a lot of money to be good at what they do. It's not the first time, is it? Or the last time where you'll, I didn't realise that. Oh, I wonder what that was on the plans.
We won't talk about how far above sea level Blundell Park is and how close it is to the sea. Is it a metre above sea level? Is that it?
It's not a problem. How often do we have a flooded pitch? The sea level's probably about a foot higher than it was when Blundell Park was first brought into use.
I'll tell you something though. When that floods, there's no super soaker getting that water off.
Well, you've seen. Carlisle have had it before, haven't they? There was another football stadium this week, wasn't there, that was flooded. I think Shrewsbury have been flooded, haven't they? Or the sort of Gay Meadow certainly used to be next to the river. You've seen some pictures, and it's amazing how they're quite often back in use quite quickly, but they've not had the sort of damage that Wimbledon's had. That looked a mess, and I was surprised though how sandy it was when you looked at underneath. I know they have some sand, but it just looked like somebody had put a pitch on Cleethorpes Beach, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And who was it? Worcestershire's cricket ground gets flooded quite a lot. It was the other one. Do you see that Shrewsbury are also going to be playing some of the new Saints Wales's games? So they've got Panathinaikos at their new ground at some point shortly, which could be quite entertaining.
All the residents of New Saints are going to be appalled by this, aren't they? Taking European football away from that town of New Saints.
It took me about 5 seasons after they'd renamed. I was like, oh, the New Saints, they're doing good. TNS always used to win that league.
Fuck's sake. Camo Fatty says, evening guys, just tuned in. Where's Bruce's cravat? If only Bruce was wearing a cravat, we'd have been all, we'd have raised less money for him. Let's be entirely honest. Rob Clark came in with an interesting one, and I'll try my best to explain it. So we've played 8. We've got 12 points. Last season, it took us 11 games to reach that points total and a staggering 17 games to rack up 4 wins. If we don't have our usual annual winless run, we could well be just fine. And, point off the playoffs, gent. 4 points off automatic. HMS Pistol League is being stoked the fires as we speak.
I think it's now become a good start. I've said last couple of weeks that I thought it was, with the injuries, with everything that's gone on, with the new squad, and the fixtures that have been pretty tough in general, I would say, in this division.
Agreed. Yeah.
I think it's now a good start. Sorry, Mike, go on.
That's what I was going to say, mate. Don't we?
Well, just looking at the fixtures, and I think we discussed this at the very start of the season. They're tough, and coming up after this, we've got Salford. You'd say away is probably one of the winnable away games. We've got Walsall. You should be looking at Newport, Colchester, Accrington, Morecambe, Crewe. They're all sort of glutted around the start of Christmas. So as long as we're not on a bad run of form, we can, hopefully pull some points together between then. But to be where we are, having played Fleetwood recently relegated, Bradford are always bang up for it. Cheltenham recently relegated as well. Notts County, one of the favourites. Bradford, Chesterfield, one of the favourites. Barrow, strong last season. Bromley with their het up, and Carlisle relegated as well. There aren't many of those teams that I would have thought, don't have an argument to be starting strongly this season.
Yeah, it's quite
Apart from Notts
obvious.
County, isn't that the only time we've lost by more than one goal? Sorry.
It is, and apart from Sheffield Wednesday, but I don't think that counts. And I don't think you can count Notts County, considering half of those were basketball slam dunks into the net. Are we out? Anybody going to say anything?
Yeah, I'll step in then. Yeah, it is a good start to the season. Gilliam's a free hit tomorrow. Or Tuesday night, should I say? I think they're something like 15 unbeaten at home, and they've won 12 of them or something like that. So they're on a ridiculous run at home. If we get anything out of Tuesday, great. Let's not worry about it if we don't. And actually, we're playing Donny at a decent time. They've not had the greatest run of results at the moment. Lost again on Saturday to Chesterfield at home, didn't they? Got 2 men sent off again, including Luke Molyneux, but I was gutted because it was 2 yellows, so he'll be back for Saturday. But actually, it might not be the worst time to play Donny, because especially if they don't get a result Tuesday night, they're playing Barrow at home, which isn't an easy game. So I think a good house on Saturday, get at him early, we could get something out of Donny.
Take the piss out of Harry Clifton if he's playing, unless he's got a 3-game ban.
All right. Okay. Do we think he's getting booed? Yes or no?
He's not getting booed. He's not getting booed. We didn't boo. If we're not booing Danilo Orsi and saying good luck to him when he's playing against us at Crawley, we're not booing Harry Clifton. Surely. The players who come to our pre-season friendlies, like he did against Rotherham, I don't think we should be booing them.
Alan Buckley got called Judas when he came back with West Brom. Got us 2 promotions.
And that is a hill I will die on.
I'm saying it right now. If you're booing Harry Clifton, you want to give your head a wobble. That would
here comes Mike. Mike takes the tone down to now getting all aggressive and telling everyone, if you start booing Harry Clifton, I'm not there, so I won't be able to tell you off. But you're fucking for it. Your name is going on a list.
No, just it's a dickhead move booing Harry Clifton. I mean, the lad's whatever. And
why are you calling people dickheads?
Because if you boo Harry Clifton, you're a dickhead. Just simple.
I don't want people to boo. I don't think people should boo. But I'm not going to be in a position calling people dickheads.
Bruce is going to
I'll happily call everybody
boo when they. Bruce is going to boo when they announce thank you to the 1,800 Doncaster fans and Harry Clifton for attending today.
Yes, and Harry Clifton's family in the away end.
I'm currently working on my next change at the club that I'm going to put forward, but I'm not quite sure what to do just yet.
Well, what is it?
I'm just said I'm not quite sure yet. I mean, we've sorted the attendance thing out, haven't we? That's done now.
I don't think we should give you any more because the power will go to your head and you'll be absolutely unbearable. Especially if we win this. If we win this award, and you've also stopped them thanking fans for coming. And what was the other one, Bruce? What was the other little victory you had?
No, somebody I can't remember. I didn't realise, but somebody claimed something, didn't they, like the other week? But I can't remember what it was now.
You'd be unbearable. Like that would be awful. I'd imagine you'd want walk-on music when you come into Blundell Park.
I'm excited for next weekend's play your calendars right. Looking forward to that. I'd just like to get a little plug in now for it.
Well, do you want to? I've got a game for you, though I don't know if it's a game. It's just I went to Screwfix Live. Do you want to see what freebies I got? in my little freebie gift bag they give out. That's about 40 quid's worth of value. I don't know what was in it. Met Fury from Gladiator.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I met Jet when the next level in Grimsby Town Centre opened in 1991, and it was the greatest day of my life. So I'm pleased for you.
So I've got to talk to you about this because I was there. Is this the games shop that was where the Cheltenham and Gloucester opposite McDonald's was?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
I was one of the poor bastards outside in the rain who didn't get to meet them because the queue was literally like the Beatles had arrived, and I didn't get in. But my friend gave me his leaflet with them signed thing, and I lost it.
Mate, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. It was at that point, it was the greatest thing that had ever happened to Grimsby. Warrior was there.
Still is.
Jet. What a day! What a day it was. Anyway, how was Fury? I love the new Gladiators. How was Fury?
I don't know. I only saw them at the time where I walked past them.
You thought it was Tyson, and you legged it, didn't you?
Yeah,
I did it just to how things have changed. I did the Weetabix fun run when I was in the first year at Tolbar, and some former international sprinter woman came.
International sprinter woman.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't remember her name. I was going to guess it, and I think
Sally Gunnell.
No, it was. Unfortunately, I'd left school when Sally Gunnell was Barcelona '92, her prime.
Fatima Whitbread.
I'd already left school. No, it wasn't her. But anyway, we you got to sit on her knee for a photo. That's sort of on par, isn't it? With printing the names.
I can't use that music for this.
Printing the names and addresses of the fans in the programme. Yeah, I've got a photo somewhere of me sat on a. I want to say a name, but I don't want to get it wrong because I think it's similar to that of a porn star.
I need to see this photo.
I think it's on the wall at my mum's. Hang on, let me just try and find this name. I'll come back to you. Please hold.
There's a photo of me on an elephant in Cleethorpes when they were there for the circus. I'm not sure that's appropriate anymore.
Was it the year that the lions escaped?
Oh, I don't know. I know my dad used to be a special constable in Lincolnshire near Caister, and there used to be, for any of you who live out that way, there used to be a regular officer called Stuart Roach, who was a well-known prankster and all-round decent copper. And anyway, he on April Fool's Day, because on the Ordnance Survey map it used to say there was a swing bridge on the Caister Canal that never got finished. He reported that a lion had escaped on the swing bridge. And there was no sort of Coast Guard helicopter or anything. So they sent up the RAF from Bimbrook looking for this fucking lion, as well as bringing in people from Humberside. He got into quite a bit of trouble.
Can we not make a song about that? And the RAF on Bimbrook shot you lion. 10 circus lions.
We get a pizza protest outside the podcast awards. Don't give it to them.
Bruce, don't go out there eating a sausage sandwich.
Oh, that's a new. There's got to be a new song in that. We shot your lions. How many pod titles do you want in one episode, Alex?
I know we're doing really well. I've even forgotten the first one. Bruce's OnlyFans. I don't know what was the first one.
Bruce suits a lion in a dressing gown.
Yeah, I could imagine that Bruce being some sort of Victorian style, gentleman in just a filibuster and a blunderbuss even, and a pipe and a big old dressing gown, and just walking out with a bottle of champagne in the other hand. That's the image I've got of you, Bruce.
I still can't remember the name of this model.
It's not a model. You said it was an athlete.
Oh, not a model. Sorry, yeah, the model. I've just searched the model. I'll tell you. I thought her name was Kathy Lloyd, but I've just looked, and Kathy Lloyd's a glamour model. So I must have got her in my head from somewhere.
Went to see Lloyd on Friday.
Your school.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? What? His stand-up show.
He was. Yeah, he was good. Full house.
Good.
So well worth going to. I got a drill bit, obviously.
Okay.
Some gloves. Bruce, have you found this person yet? So I can stop filling some of these things that apparently hold things up, which include this Grimsby Town thing. So if it's fallen down, these things don't work.
No, don't fill.
Cable ties.
Just carry on. I didn't realize you were filling. It just seemed like your normal content.
For those judges who are listening to that is not the case. This is usually a well-run, sophisticated podcast. Mike, what you got to say? And I'll look through this bag of fun.
Yeah, the only thing I know we've moved off the game, but I think it would be remiss not to mention Evan Corey. And I know we've mentioned him in little bits this season, but he has slotted in really well in midfield, and he looks like a player that. Sorry, I'm really distracted by just showing me packing tape. He looks like a player that's it has developed really well, and it's good to see him coming on. So.
There we go. Look like a condom.
Are we saying that Evan Curry's new sponsor is Screwfix? Was this like a...
Sorry, what? Screw what?
Sorry.
There's a new title?
Slip of the tongue. There does seem to be a lot of Screwfix content on here. Have we got sponsors that you're not telling us about, Alex?
I bloody wish. WD-40? Degreaser, whatever that means. Yeah. So help me out here, guys. I've got nothing else to add. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
I think she brought a medal with her.
Good. We had Gary Croft once come to Kilby Primary School. We also had Maxine Carr, but she was there, as a student. He wants some grab adhesive solvent stuff. I don't really need it. Does anyone want this? If just leave us a message, we'll get it over to you.
Should we talk about emergency loans keepers and how this works then?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. So if
the injury list first.
True, yeah.
Hang on. Let's do the
injury list. Yeah.
Grimsby Town have got a bit of an injury crisis. So at the minute, Jake Eastwood, who's done his knee or his leg, not too sure what that was. Jordan Wright apparently has a dislocated shoulder. Matty Carson seems to have an nondescript injury. Curtis Thompson, hamstring. Jordan Davies, hamstring. Charles Burnham, hamstring. Jaden Luca and Justin Abikru. So that's eight first team players we currently have out.
Keep going. I haven't finished yet.
That's the list, mate.
Okay.
I can say other players have got injuries as well. Danny Rose has broken his toe.
I got some bookie pens. I think that's it. It's a really good thing for a podcast feature. That was me just showing stuff on Mike without the injury list. Bit for everyone.
So yeah,
what do we think he did? I assume he didn't break his leg. Sorry, Youngie. I don't think I assume he didn't break his leg because I'd have said that, wouldn't they? It's just a gash on his knee.
You could see the bone, couldn't you? Which was quite in that horrible photo, which was a bit,
I don't like that photo.
I can imagine he's going to be out for a while. I can't see this being a couple of weeks in and out job. So, which makes you think: does that mean we have to get a free signing in, or can we survive on emergency loans?
Well, I think you've got two options, haven't you? Depending how bad the dislocated shoulder is, because you can only do the emergency loans until one of your goalkeepers is back, so that's a short-term thing. But if Eastwood's going to be longer term and Wright's going to be mid sort of any sort of couple of weeks or so, it might be worthwhile looking at the open market. I mean, that Jamal Blackman from who was at Exeter and then Burton, he's still available. So might be worth just seeing how bad the injuries are, and it might just be worth getting somebody in on a 6-month deal instead of getting short-term loans week in, week out until you get it covered. Because dislocated shoulder isn't a quick fix, I wouldn't have thought, for a goalkeeper. I mean, Doug Tharm had a shoulder injury, didn't he? And that kept him out the start of the season from last season.
And Steve Crowdson's insurance means that he can't play in the Football League, doesn't it?
Yes.
There's Christopher Clarkson, who went to Leeds for 1.8 million. He's free. Sergio Rico. Do you think we'll get any of these people? Carius is available.
Ben Hill's an interesting comment. I'm just seeing if we've missed something while we've been on.
Ben Hill's Wicked Whispers.
Jackson Smith has apparently signed on. Hang on, let's do this properly. Sorry. Is this right, Mike? You got to give us confirmation. I'll let you do the confirmation while I look for our old thing.
I'll research Jackson Smith.
Breaking news from correspondent Ben Hill that Jackson Smith might have signed on loan from Barnsley. Yet to be decided whether he actually has a bilingo or not. Now to the weather. It's raining.
John Todger.
There's a lot of rolling in my mouse to try and get all these musics and stuff stopped. There we go. There we go. So Jackson Smith, is he signed then?
You've now got John Todger over Youngie now.
Well,
It's fine.
he doesn't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about Jackson Smith in those 30 seconds? Did we find out anything about Jackson Smith that, like football fans who just quickly Googled and we now know exactly how good or bad he is and how
I am on
it is?
I am on Transfer Market, the only source for stats.
That now makes you completely qualified to say whether he deserves to be a professional footballer or not.
He was at Walsall last season and made 23 appearances. I don't know whether that was a low move or whether that was a permanent. It looks like that was a permanent move, and he's moved to Barnsley in summer. So he has got a little bit of league experience if it is Jackson Smith. So that could be a possibility.
Youngie there. Thank you very much. And Mike with the weather. Hello.
I don't think I'm going to come. I don't think I'm going to come up with this tonight. I think I've got to. I've just messaged my old mate, my schoolmates that we're in a chat group, and their sort of 49, 50-year-old brains are about as useful as mine.
10 minutes that's taking you, Bruce. 10 minutes.
Isn't the internet wonderful nowadays?
Katie.
It's on the fishy. It must be true. It's on the fishy.
Oh, hang on. Let's have a look. The fishy. Where's it on the fishy?
On the surprise thread.
Surprised? That's not the name of a person. Everyone keeps saying low Tutalala. Or we could get Harvey Cartwright back, I'd imagine.
Are people just shouting out names of goalkeepers?
Yeah.
Cartwright's
is that what's happening?
Danny Coyne.
Danny Coyne. He'd be like the return of Matt Tees, wouldn't he? Put 3,000 on the gate. Danny Coyne's back.
Hayden Davidson was back. He'd put a few people back on the gate, given the females' interest in him.
I am
specifically looking at Christine Green.
Yeah,
I am a bit.
Yes, I think. Go on.
I was going to say I am a bit worried about the amount of injuries we've got. This is beyond just an inconvenience, isn't it? We've got so many injuries at the minute. Quite a few of them.
Yeah, but look how good we're going to be when we're all, they're all fit and they're all coming back and we're going to play with them. And then it's not going to work and they're all having to gel and we'll lose loads. And then everyone will be moaning and Artel won't have a way of fixing it. I'm going down a Grimsby wormhole. Please stop me.
So, on Thursday, when the news broke on Vernon, I was at work and within an hour of the news breaking, we'll go behind the scenes of the DM35 WhatsApp group. There was 86 messages on the I got to on the DM35 WhatsApp group, and basically it was a debate between Mike and Sam discussing whether or not Charles Vernon is a crock.
It was not a debate. It was not a debate. It's me telling Sam he's an idiot and that he's wrong. That's all it was. I love Sam to death, but he deals in absolutes. You either like or you shit.
Maybes.
Nowhere in the middle.
Chiffy's just given us a nod on Twitter. I noticed.
Yes.
if you've never, sorry, was you gonna? Am I taking your thunder?
No, you do it, mate. As long as you come back on the camera, you can talk about it.
Right, hang on then. Just make sure I'm covered up.
He put his clothes back on.
Right.
Why did he take his glasses off?
Because I need to read my screen on my computer, and I'm getting old.
Hang on, you're doing the Grimsby Town Women's update. So we'll go to Bruce.
I'm not doing a Grimsby Town Women's update. No, you've got the wrong reporter. As the Jeff. If you've never tuned into the lads on a Sunday night chatting absolute twaddle about town, then give them a blast. Bruce is usually pissed. Youngie talks like he's hosting a game show. Alex seems allergic to razors, and Mike holds the shit show together, being deadly serious. And that's a pretty fair. That's the clip that you need to send to whoever the football content awards.
I don't think I've ever been called deadly serious.
Thanks, Simon.
There are times when
you might be the most serious in this company. You might be the most serious. I mean, to be fair, it's been a light-hearted podcast, but you've ripped into town fans. So
you called them all dickheads, and then you also had to go. And then you also had to go at Tyler Warren as well.
We can't. He didn't head the ball. If you do the front post, head the fucking ball.
You dickheads.
Says you that it's not allowed in any other town other than Grimsby and Aldershot now. Those are the only two you've not had a go at. In fact, you probably had a go at them. They just allow you there.
Yeah, Grimsby's a shithole and Aldershot's a shithole. It's lovely, but they're my shitholes. It's like, they've not got Wilkinsons between them. But I tell you what,
you can't be accused, can you, Alex? You can't be accused of deserting this town for somewhere better.
No, I can't. No.
Oh, look at Alex! Look, he lives in Windsor now.
Isn't he doing well?
He's done well. Yeah, nobody can say you've turned your back on shitholes, can they?
No, all I do now is
sit in the cupboard next to the downstairs loo. That's all you're doing at the minute.
When people ask, where do you live? London.
You fucking don't.
You'd be devastated in the week about the passing of Professor McGonagall or whatever her name was, of Harry Potter.
Hang on, what was that?
When you, Harry?
Professor what?
Who?
So McGonagall, whatever her name was. What's her name that died? Liz
No,
Smith,
if you're going to do this joke,
Dave Maggie Smith.
No, if you're going to do
lovely,
this joke, you're going to have to say the name of the Harry Potter professor correctly.
No, Madonna. Oh, Madonna. Papa don't preach.
McGonagall.
It's all going on. Thank you, Mike.
What? Say it.
No, Mike was deadly serious then. He did it.
You move your mouth and I'll say the name.
Right. Okay. Right. All right. Let's go for this. Right.
McGonagall.
Oh my God! What a shit show. He's absolutely right. Is it 9 o'clock yet?
I like my personality is that Alex just doesn't shave. Doing this thing for about 10 years. Yeah.
And that's the only impression they have of you. Well, occasionally he doesn't shave.
I've been doing this for nearly 10 years, and that furry twat over there.
I think in other news, I think Jane Boynton's on holiday, and I'd be interested to know if they found time to listen to us on holiday, or whether they're because she's normally about a bottle and a half of wine deep now, isn't she? By 9 o'clock.
Were you trying to keep up with her?
She's not all inclusive.
You reckon?
Speaking of
tea will be done now, won't it? Sorry, Mike, go on.
Speaking of all inclusive, I was at the caravan yesterday. I've got it now.
David Williams says Kathy Cook was an 80s British women's sprinter, Bruce. Was it her?
Kathy Cook? Hang on, I'll have a look. Google. Yeah, I kept getting Kathy Lloyd in my head.
You can't just shout the word Google and it'll work.
Hang on. Alexa.
Did I sit on Kathy Cook's knee?
Hey, Google! Who did Grimsby Town play? Maisie's just in the background sympathetically typing it into a computer.
He hasn't even got an Alexa.
I don't think
Google.
He just thinks you shout Alexa and something happens.
I don't think it's Kathy Cook. She doesn't look. How can I say this? I don't know actually.
She doesn't look like the person you saw.
She was straddleable.
She was very fit to a young 12-year-old me. and I'm just trying to work out whether I need to find a photo from the 80s to see if it is the right person. And because
Hang on
quite
a
easily,
second.
I can
Hang
quite
on.
easily.
You weren't
if I
12
was
in the
12,
80s.
12? You
And the rest.
You were
32.
They were making you sit on an adult's knee at the age of 12.
I don't think she. I don't.
I'm sure that's what happened. I was only a little 12. Though,
Officer.
It was a different world in the 80s, I tell you.
This is Bruce of 23. This is Bruce of 23 Chelmsford Avenue. If you want him to sit on your knee, he's more than welcome to. He's going to the Radio 1 Road Show down on Cleethorpes Beach next week. So,
Today live from the boating Lake Paddock in Cleethorpes.
Rolf Harris.
When they reckon Patrick Swayze was there. They just dragged some bloke on the stage and said it was Patrick Swayze. I couldn't tell from the back whether it was true or not. I'm not sure what he'd be doing. I'm not sure what he'd be doing. Well, that's why I don't think it was true. But in them days,
Why would Patrick Swayze be there?
Well, that's what they reckoned.
Who's they? My wife does this. She says they and doesn't tell me who they are. Like, who's they?
Bruno Brooks and Mike Reid and the gang.
Mike Reid. Now that's a celebrity. You've got a celebrity there with Mike Reid.
Dave Lee Travis.
BLT?
Yeah, Dave Lee Travis.
BLT.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the hairy cornflake.
That's exactly who I know.
Speaking of hairy cornflake, hello.
I don't think it was Kathy.
What's your name?
Kathy Smallwood Cook. I've got to find the photo now.
Who had Smallwood? What?
That was me. That was me when I sat on a knee.
You can't say that. You can't be calling yourself Smallwood. This is a family-friendly podcast.
I was relatively small at 12.
I've got some more info on that Jackson. What's his name?
Oh, I bring it back serious. Good lad.
Because I'm all serious. Apparently got 3 awards at Walsall's end of the season award show and got a 4-year deal after last season.
Yeah, but who cares? Winning those things, dime a dozen, isn't it?
Yeah, Matt Haywood was once Brentford Player of the Year, and we signed him.
And I voted Chris
Kathy
Jones.
Cook.
Okay, good.
You know, we're still on this.
We're still on this.
It'll be here next week. We won't Kathy
Wrap
Cook.
up.
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
I tell you what, we'll find out next week. We'll find out it was Seb Coe.
No, that was a different experience.
No, we'll find out that it's just a rowboat that was used in the Olympics, and that'll be it. Hey Google, what is the Olympics?
It is nearly home time, right? It is nearly home time. But did any of you ever go on an interesting school trip that was dead shit, or a school trip that was dead shit? That was like we went there.
Where did we go on school trips? The only thing I remember that being really shit at school was for our food tech, we were asked to make a sandwich.
Fucking hell. Revolutionary.
What set were you in?
we were doing cookers, but we were doing cooking, but I wasn't allowed near any open gas.
We both were. The problem is we didn't stop making the sandwiches, did we?
Fighting fit, my friend. Fighting fit. Though I did do a health check because I have to for work, and the person went, "I'm just going to check your blood pressure." They checked it, went, "I'm just going to do that again."
Had Sam just messaged the group or something?
Probably, yeah.
Well, it was a Sunday night at 9:15.
Yeah. Oh dear God.
Bruce said what? Where is Sam?
I don't know where Sam is. It's not.
He's still on the leadership. He's still in the leadership contest, isn't he?
Oh, he'll be at Toy Party Conference, won't he?
Yeah.
Ring him up, see if we can FaceTime him.
I'm not ringing Sam.
Do you reckon
him and TT?
As they go out, do you reckon he he's slagging them off one week, and then the next week he's like they all slide into a different corner, and like the Bezzy mates with the one that's now theirs has gone out, so they're sort of my flag's fastened to your mast now, mate. Is it a bit like that? Do you reckon?
I've lost how many metaphors are in that.
What's with all the phallic metaphors today from you, Bruce? What is it because you're in a dressing gown?
I didn't realise I was doing it. I didn't realise I was doing it.
Officer.
Is it? I don't know. Maybe because I was I had a siesta this afternoon, so I had 3 hours sleep. When I got back from Carlisle, I got in the bath. I felt ropey ass. Got in the bath, and then I fell asleep on the bed for about 2.5 hours.
Brilliant. Square Eyed says he went to the Shakespeare Globe Theatre in year 10, 4-hour drive and a half an hour tour. We weren't even allowed to sit on the benches, and the gift shop was shite. I went to Meadowhall. Apparently, that's a school outing.
Teachers just wanted to do some shopping.
We went to Haddon Hall.
Yeah. Where's that?
It's in Derbyshire. It's near Matlock. But yeah, because I went to St James, when we used to go to like most of the schools, we had this bright yellow minibus that just basically said "twats" on it. You know, it wasn't written, but it didn't need to. And
not with you in the front, no.
We used to go to some of the sat on the driver's knee. We used to go to some of the schools, and they'd be lobbing apples and stuff at the minibuses we pulled in the car park because the posh twats were there. And and you go to St Mary's, and there'd be somebody trying to straighten the crossbar because 2 kids had been sat on it the night before and stuff like that. It was. I think we need to have a school special. I mean, I've just asked you 3, but you know there must be some great stories out there from people that are sad enough to listen to this that from school trips.
Cinema in the woods.
Well, I went to Weston, so the furthest they let us go at Weston was Hereford. They didn't let us go any further.
You went to Hereford on a school trip.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'll tell you what.
Look at where you could have gone.
For some reason, I didn't go on a exchange trip to France, and instead, I had to go to Grimsby College to use the internet.
I could have done
some good stuff on the internet, you know.
Alex, I used to do the same. I used to go to Grimsby College to use the internet as well.
We went to we're going there.
The 90s.
I just remember writing down like the France 98 website on like a piece of paper. I'm going to go look at this, and all it was just a picture of a couple of stadiums. I was like, oh, okay, what am I going to do now? There's no, what's next?
Read Ben Renshaw's comment, please.
Yeah, put it up.
Okay. Ben Renshaw says we went to Holland with school. One of the lads got caught having an asthma attack in the room while watching a porno.
Was Kathy cooking the porno?
This is definitely Kathy Lloyd. This has definitely got legs. This school trip special. I reckon.
Wayne Clark.
Who wants? Go on.
Wayne Clark says he went to Scunthorpe Town Centre on a school trip.
Wow. Bloody hell.
Oh.
Our French trip, our skiing trips though, back in them days were just mental. You went where you are. We used to go to school ski trips because we went to St James. Well, they do that for all the other schools now, don't they?
Don't fucking do it down here.
Maisie's got the opportunity to go to
Aldershot Ski Dry Slope.
To go to Poland or to somewhere to and in all on a serious subject to go and see the death camps. But
you're not taking teenagers from England to Auschwitz, are you?
I think so. I'm sure they are.
Well, raging hormones and stuff. That sounds an awful idea.
I might be wrong with that. But anyway, I think it's about 800 or 900 quid for 4 days. It's like
they're not going.
A lot of drink.
Who's got that? You know, your dad just got back from Carlisle. You can't. You're not doing that, are you? It's a lot. I know everything's expensive.
You've run out a hooky laptop.
But yeah, we used to get pissed on the school ski trips and stuff, and it was just ace. Just like you just went out and they just didn't give a shit where you'd gone or anything. And nowadays you can't leave. You know, you have to everybody that goes has got to have a teacher tied to them. No, that sounded wrong.
Why do you?
And what could possibly be bad about having, having a new way of doing things and teachers actually keeping an eye on the kids and them not being able to go out pissed? I mean, terrible.
Yeah, parents didn't shit themselves then like they do now. You know, if your kid switches off the phone, it's like Luke on Star Wars with his tracking thing. You know, your kid turns off the tracker on the phone, and the police they're in touch with the old Bill.
Hang on, Bruce. If you're going to start talking like this, I've got to bring back the music. I'm sorry.
No, it's home time. We need a school bell. That's what we need for the end of this.
Facebook's comment page now. Like you're the sort of person that I'd imagine you'll put up one of those images. When I was a kid, we used to earth our knees and go outside. There's no such thing as Tetris, and we were all happy for it.
And the weather in the summer holidays was always sunny, wasn't it? Or you thought it was, and now it's just shit all. July's just a wet month, isn't it? July and August, it just pisses it down.
I've got to
We're literally
commend
talking
Richard.
about the weather now, fellas.
I'm literally got to give Richard Hammond commendation because he is basically doing his best while everybody else is coming through. Jack Thornton said, and I don't believe this one, he went to Rome on a school trip and a teacher walked in and his mate was had the toilet door open while he was having a shit. And then Richard Hammond says is doing his best to try and bring it back to goalkeeping issues, and saying Bessett was 6 unbeaten or 10 unbeaten. And the season we beat Carlisle 2-0 on a Friday night was the same. We beat Everton and lost to Liverpool and won the league.
The Dave Bessett loan spell in '92 was one of the best little periods of my town following life. I went to nearly all the games, and we were, it was just he joined a really good team, and it was just, we were unbeaten while he was here, including a 4-1 hammering of Luton, I think, at Luton, or 4-1, 4-0, something like that. Groves got a hat-trick, and we went like quite high up in what's now the Championship. Drew 1-1 with West Ham on a Tuesday night. Mendonca scored, best goal I saw him score for Town. Yeah, it was good time.
The story is, isn't it? The book Buckley says about Bessent in his book. They literally signed him on loan on Friday afternoon. He never had a training session with us. They picked him up from a service station on the way up to Newcastle. He said all the players used to be really well behaved on the bus, and within 10 minutes, Dave Bessent had a card school on the go at the back. So
our lads spending money that they couldn't afford.
Especially Paul Bruce. Bruce has got to afford a ski trip here. I can't go in any deeper.
God knows how much the ski trips are, but I'd love to take Maisie skiing. I don't know if you guys have been skiing, but I haven't been for about 20 years. But I just love it. It's just a fantastic. It's just a great trip. They're just good. And I'm not just on about school ski trips.
Shall we end what has been a very positive podcast, apart from Mike telling everyone they're dickheads? Would you
want to get called dickheads? Don't be a dickhead.
Ben Hill has come up with one of the most depressing comments I've ever seen, saying, I think the most impactful loan player I've seen for us is Barry Conlon or Martin Patterson.
And that's probably mine as well. And that is really depressing.
No, and I'm going to come back where you've had Matete. He was pretty interesting to watch. You had Elliot Embleton.
Impactful. What impact?
Ethan Robson.
What impact
David Nielsen.
Barry
Conlon kept us up.
Yeah, agreed. Youngie, I'm with you. David Nielsen was the best loan player I've had here, and that includes Andy Todd. But in terms of impact, David Nielsen was amazing.
I didn't see David Nielsen.
He was beautiful. You'd have loved him.
That's why you've chosen. That's why you've chosen whoever you just chose. Unfortunately, your time. The club keeps going, Mike, for people like you and for the youngsters that haven't seen the levels of success that we've seen. And one day, I don't know when it'll be, but one day we'll be back. I don't think we'll get back to the Championship, but it would be you imagine our followings in League One. I think League One's where we'll be.
Yeah, we'll get there sooner or later. Anything else? Mike, are you coming to Gillingham on Tuesday night?
Probably, yeah.
I think I'm going to go, but I'm trying to work out work times. I might have to be on conference calls as I'm driving, but that's all right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Bruce, I hope you feel better and you haven't fallen down too often. Youngie, always a pleasure.
I feel all right now for me nap.
Never a show.
I'm glad. And if you do want to help Bruce get some money so he can come down, and we have been nominated for a football content award. I doubt we'll win it, but it'd be great to have your vote. We will tweet it out on Twitter and on Facebook. But do vote for us and get your nans and your grands off to Waterloo to do it as well. And go subscribe to Bruce's OnlyFans, where you'll get to see him lounging around in his dressing gown, so he can come down as well.
With his Kathy cookout.
With his Kathy Smallwood cookout.
With my what out?
Your Kathy cook.
Smallwood.
Wow.
Always a pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. The Mariners are a point off the playoffs, so let's enjoy what is, quite sadly a good time to be supporting Town in the last 18 years. Bye.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more in my life than in there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got penalty here. There'll be fish flying about there. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent